Welcome to We're All Just Faking It. This is episode 42. Today we're talking about news or shades. With us today we have Dana, Braylon, Blaze, and myself, Steph. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Anyone fake it last week? All day, every day for me. That is my answer moving forward. All day, every day. All day, every day.
I started a new workout regimen with
Oh.
my husband, and one of the days neither of us wanted to do it, so we woke up and went down there anyways, and then just fucked around. We didn't do the exercise, we were just being silly and goofing off, and so yeah, that was my faking it of I was like, well, let's just at least go pretend we're gonna work out.
That's awesome though that you can do it together. Like how because
Makes it way
I have
easier.
not been able to accomplish that. I want to work out in the morning. He wants to work out at night. We just work
Make
out
him
separate
get an
now.
Aura ring, and then he will see that working out at night severely affects the quality of his sleep. And then he
Oh.
will not want to work out at night anymore because your heart rate won't lower as it should if you work out at
I
night.
did not know that.
So you can be like, science, bitch.
I mean, honestly, that's why I get off of my computer, with plenty of time to spare before bed. Like you need that time to decompress. So like that's why I don't like working out at night though. What if I
Yeah.
can't go to sleep?
Yeah. It's very valid.
Yeah, I definitely faked it every single day this past week. I had a huge presentation for work, and we have a project starting up, and I just feel like my entire week has just been faking it.
I luckily am at a season of life right now where I feel like I'm not faking it with work anymore, which is really nice. I feel like when you have a job like that, that's where all your faking it goes.
Do you interact with a lot of people at work? Like for
Yes.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right, because you do the co-working space.
Yeah, and I like it. If you ever co-work with us in Body Double, I'm sure you'll see me talking to people
Yes,
as
all
I'm
the
in the
time.
Body Double channel.
I honestly, I was like, I'd be so annoyed if I was interrupted all fucking day, every day at work,
Well,
which I am, and it's annoying.
luckily for the co-working space, I don't ever have deep work. The deepest work, I'll be like, okay, I need to write an email to send out to share that we are having an event next week, or I need to make an event graphic on Canva. It's all really easy little things, because yeah, I get no actual work done there, because somebody could just walk through the door, and I am the face of the community. I don't want to be oh, I'm busy right now, don't talk to me. Do you know what I mean? So I always will take out my headphones and be like, what's up, how's it going? Because sometimes people just want to chat with me, and I like being there for them if maybe they don't get to chat with other people during the day. I don't know. We have a lot of people that just moved here that are single, so I just like to be friendly. But yeah, it's not good for doing work.
I faked it this week, these couple of weeks, because it's been a while. I managed to get my last assignment done and submitted. I don't know how. It's done. It's over. I get to enjoy my summer now.
Heck yes.
Which I am so happy about. And I also got this stupid cold on Thursday midday. So now I'm trying to fight that quickly so I can enjoy the work events and things that I want to do. Because I am trying to push myself into being a bit more social and enjoy things a bit more instead of just being at home at my desk here. Hello.
I feel that.
Where
I feel that
live.
on a very deep level.
Yeah, it's a vicious struggle, honestly. I also want the same thing, but it means I have to leave my house.
This is
Those are
my
kind of a deal
happy
breaker.
place. All my things are here.
Everything.
Exactly.
Everything's here. I
Send
have
people a
snacks,
picture of my
I have
desk.
crafting, I have TV.
Your
What
cat?
else do I want? My cat,
Everything. Why would I leave?
Exactly.
I
And I could be
literally
in my
set this up.
pajamas.
Exactly. No pants.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to force myself out a little bit, but it will be good once I'm there. I just have to get there and get through the uncomfortable highs and oh, how are you doing? And then I can just chill, eat chips because they have really good chips there, and maybe even sit on their like swing chair things because I really like them because I like swinging.
Do you guys have like tons of different varieties of chips, like crinkle cut and like waffle and like, or do you just have regular?
I mean, we don't have loads that you can buy like at a restaurant, but like if you were going to the shop and you wanted, yeah, we've got loads. I think normally if you're going to a restaurant, they have like skinny fries or thick cut chips or triple cooked chips normally, and then also
Mm.
wedges.
Yeah,
Um,
wedges are good.
I
Ooh,
love wedges.
wedges.
I
I feel like
love
Or
Breakfast
wedges.
sweet potato
wedges.
as well. They like to do sweet potato
oh
fries a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, sweet
But I
potato is
would
really good.
say otherwise the chips normally like we do have the like waffle or crisp cut ones, but they're normally something you buy from the shop.
That makes sense. That sounds just like here.
I love potatoes.
Yeah. Give me a
Yeah,
potato in
right?
any kind of form.
There's not too many ways you can make potatoes that I wouldn't like.
There's no such thing as a bad French fry, is my philosophy.
Oh, I see disagree. Soggy and overly salty, you can absolutely ruin French fries.
But
Definitely
like,
soggy.
it's
Absolutely.
still gonna be good,
Ugh.
You
in
ever
my
had a
opinion.
No.
wet, salty French fry?
No.
No. 0 out of
What?
10 do not recommend.
I hate
No.
them when they're either soggy or cold.
I don't
Well,
like them when they're
Not
anything
not
cold.
here for it.
I don't know, they're like not stale, but they're like the potatoes kind of like really horrible and it almost feels like they cooked them yesterday and then reheated them. I don't like those
Mm,
ones. Those
yeah,
taste horrible.
that doesn't sound very good.
No.
So, I do want to talk about French fries, but I know that we are here to talk about shades and news. I really do actually want to talk about French fries. We should move that conversation into the Discord and discuss potatoes more. So when I met the group introduced me to news. I was introduced to shades by She Snaps, who I am not sure still streams on Twitch or anywhere. But it's basically the same thing. So looking in the notes, news right below it: nutrition, exercise, water, and sleep. And shades is sleep, hydration, fresh air, diet, exercise, and stillness, which is like meditation. Really like the things that you should check with yourself if you're feeling shitty is the way that I look at them. How do you
Yeah.
guys look at them?
I was told about news from my psychiatrist, and at the time I was seeing her for ADHD meds, and she actually mentioned to me that like if you don't have this foundational thing, your meds will not help you that much. Was her whole shtick. Like you need to get this together before you, because otherwise, like we're fighting an uphill battle here. Um, so that's how I got introduced to it. But I love shades more because it does, I think that outside is very important, and I also think that the meditation, stillness, being present is super important too.
I use it heavily, very heavily. I that's honestly, I like your way better. A foundation is definitely more accurate. I just like it's the first thing I check in with. It's like I'm grumpy or I feel like shit or like everybody's pissing me off today. What is wrong with me? I check my shades.
I think
Usually there's
like
something.
I learned news from Braylon when she first started streaming. She was like she talked about news, and I remember writing it down on a little post-it note and being like, "That's so interesting." And like for me, it's like the core things you need to do so that your mental health, like is good. You don't necessarily have to have a mental health illness. Like mental health, everyone has mental health, and it's important, I think, for us to make sure we're looking after our body. I do like shades. I will say I quite often forget what shades stands for, all of the things, whereas news I do remember a lot quicker in my brain.
That's in all fairness, I learned shades first. I probably also would have a hard time remembering what shades stood for if I learned news first. See, I'm the same though. I forget what news stands for. I have to come look it up. It's too many. So, what are some of the so first and foremost, I want to lay down like the expectation, right? Shades and news, mastering all four of those things is really friggin' hard. It's really,
Yeah.
really, 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 really hard.
Don't
Please
make
do
it your
not beat
goal.
yourself up
Do not.
if you're
My
not
goal
hitting
is
all of them.
2.
Yes.
Yeah.
2.
I'm picking out a 5 and my goal is still 2.
Yeah. Yeah. That was something that I had to learn too, is like, okay, there is no possible scenario where I will be mastering all 4 of these at once. I think of it like I am a juggler, but because I have ADHD, I'm not a very good juggler. So it's like if I try to do all 4, I'm going to drop one anyways. So it's like I might as well shoot for 2/3 if I'm doing really good. And like
Yeah.
I look at it like they're all going to have different levels. So like my nutrition might be at like a 70% and my sleep is at a 90 and my water, but like they're never all at 100 at the same time. They kind of all like rotate with how well I'm doing one or the other.
Yeah. Not a
So
robot.
this year has been like a year of self-love for me because I'm really horrible to myself, um verbally, and like I think the way I like treat my body as well. So like at the start of the year I really wanted to get nutrition down because that was the most important one to me at the start of the year. Then I started incorporating water into that a bit more, and I have been drinking more water as well. And then sleep, I'm trying to make sure I'm in bed by 10 at the very least. And then exercise, I'm trying to incorporate now, so that I get it down before I go back to uni. And then at least if I get it like at a good level, then it will be easier to keep rather than trying to incorporate it while also trying to balance lots of different
Yes.
things.
I
Um,
agree with that.
but like my nutrition, I would say is really good, but like not every day. Like in a week is really good, but like there's some days where I just eat like a whole bag of crisps because I just need that.
Which is how it should be if you think about it. Like if you think of a graph that has like little bars and then you were to like make a line for the whole thing, like you might have some ups and downs, but you're probably on a steady upswing. You know what I mean? Like those single days aren't going to totally ruin your habits, which I also feel like is so important. Like you have to just allow yourself like some days to totally scrap everything and just go with the flow if that's what feels good. And you can't do that every day. Like some days I'm going to stay up till 1 a.m. because maybe I'm playing a game that I haven't played in forever and I'm like having a lot of fun. I'm not going to force myself to turn that off, but I couldn't do that 7 days in a row. Then I would not feel good.
Yeah. It's like a constant reminder in my brain. Like I'm not a robot. It's the schedule is set and it's great that I have working out on there 3 days a week. That doesn't always happen. Doesn't always happen. So it's I really like that, like picking one, kind of getting it down and then building on it. Because even like you said, it's not going to be 100% all the time. You at least have the foundation. It gets a little bit easier. And then eventually, maybe 5, 10 years down the road, you'll be at like 70% as the baseline for all of them.
I think for me, it's like, so when I first start doing it, it's like maybe like a couple of times I do it, and then most of the time I don't do it. And then it's when that flips from that to most of the time I do it, and then a couple of times I don't do it. That's when I know like I got it down, with like all of my habits really. But it's nice because otherwise you end up with like you push yourself, you do it every day for like a month or whatever, and then one day you stop, and then it's like a couple of weeks later and like, hey, I haven't done that thing that I was like really good at, like what's happened? So I'm really trying to not do that this year. Like that's like one of my big goals. So let's keep at it, even if we're doing it a little bit less, at least we're still doing it. It's just exercise seems to be a really big one that it seems so big in my mind. Like
Yeah.
exercise is like such a big thing when it really doesn't need to be. It just needs to be moving my body. I just need to change my mindset on how I look at it.
I had this woman one time before I had like ever exercised who told me to like make a menu, like a body movement menu. And she said things that you could put on there would be like playing with your dog, like stuff that you might not think of as like, okay, this is actual exercise, or like listening to one song and dancing. And so that's like when I was very new to exercising, that's what I did. I made a menu of just like, here's stuff I can do to get moving that was really easy. And then I found that like ADHD brains are sometimes like a toddler. Instead of saying like, do you want to eat broccoli? because your brain's going to be like, no. You'd be like, do you want to eat broccoli or do you want to eat carrots? And then your brain is like, oh, I'll take carrots. And so I do that with myself with exercise. I give myself 2 options so that no is not an option for me. It's like, do I want to do this or this? And then I feel like I have more agency and it becomes easier than like, do I want to
That's
ride my
so
bike?
smart. That's so
Not
It's
smart.
really.
so funny.
I don't
I
really want to, but if it's walk or ride the bike, I'll pick one.
I
I'll do
didn't
one.
realize that that's what I was doing. Like, I will get myself 2 different kinds of hummus with, like, pita chips and carrots. So it's like, hummus is not the only option. You need to eat better. Pick one. Have variety. And I end up eating it. They're both half gone. I've eaten an entire container of hummus.
And talking of toddlers, anytime my nephew is round, 100% I have exercise because he is just a whirlwind of
Oh my god.
energy and oh my goodness, he loves stairs as well. So, oh, getting my steps in.
Yeah,
Say,
stuff
Blaze
like
has it
that.
made. She's got an active dog.
Yes, yeah.
She's not that active. She's so lazy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She lays around 99% of the time.
Blaze started a new exercise regimen recently.
Yeah, I would say that's the only part of news that I am successfully doing right now.
Hardest one for me.
But you're
Kudos to you.
killing
How'd you
it.
do it?
Yeah, tell us your secret.
I I don't even think there is a secret. It was just like I was watching this dude who ran the entire length of Africa, and then one day I was like, well, I would like to start exercising again, and I don't really feel like going to the gym. What's the one thing that I can do at home without needing any weights or anything like that? You just need your shoes. So that's kind of how I got into running. It was more of inspiration from someone else.
Well, I'm glad you didn't decide to just straight away run the entire length of Africa. I think that might be a bit much. You're
Shout out
pacing
to that
yourself.
person because that series is seriously so cool. It's crazy to watch. I can't think of his name right now, but I'll put it somewhere in Discord.
We'll have it in
That's awesome.
resources.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put it in resources.
I told Blaze too because we were chatting when she was looking into running more, and there's a book that I read that's called Running for Mortals, and it basically talks about how like humans were designed to run. Like every single part of our body is literally crafted in a way like we are the most efficient runners on the planet. Like yes, other things can go faster than us, but we can outdistance run any creature. And so I think that's pretty that like reading that I was like, oh, that's it. Like I don't know, if you want to start running, I highly recommend it
What?
because it will teach you a bunch of cool stuff about. And the guy also like didn't used to be a runner. He wrote it. He like started by trying to run to the end of his driveway, and he could barely do that when he
Mm.
started. And so I think it's just a really cool story if you're like interested in running that will help you be like, oh, I can do this. Like my
I ran
body's literally
once and
made to do this.
then I got shin
Yeah.
splints.
That
I stopped
hurts.
doing that.
That
Yeah.
hurts bad.
Anytime I run, like my lungs feel like they're on fire and I feel like
Uh-huh.
I'm dying.
I felt like that the very first day, but
Yes.
it's kind of crazy how quickly your body adapts
Uh-huh.
because even by the second day of doing it, like my lungs felt good. And by the second week of doing it, I felt great.
I had that same
So
experience. There was a time and period where I was running every day too, and it was like you just felt like it just made you feel like you're on top of the world almost. It's pretty crazy.
week 3 though, my knee has been hurting and I'm not sure why. So stay tuned for week 4.
I was told I was running wrong, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, that can
I'm
happen
just
too.
bad at doing the thing that."
Now
There
I'm
I
just
think
is an art
picturing
to
like
it.
in Friends, Phoebe when she runs. That's now what I'm picturing. Just like her, like
I was also like I was much heavier at the time. So I did notice that like that's why exercise is so hard for me cuz I have never been in shape ever, ever. I have never been fit. I have even as a child. Well, maybe as a child because I did a lot of walking, but like there is no muscle on my body.
I had that exact same experience, and then it was like when I was like 25 that I got active for like the first time in my life, and it was hard, but I experienced like what Blaze is saying. Like once I like a couple weeks in, I was like, oh, like this is way better. I will say though,
Mhm.
I had to go like to a place with a teacher who helped me, because then they like are pushing you. And now that I did that for like 4 years, I'm good at working out at home. But I think you need that, like, you need somebody to push you, to show you that like you can push yourself way farther than you think. Because
I
if you're
think
just by yourself, you're like, this hurts, I'm stopping, I want to stop. Because your whole brain is like, stop, 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 stop it now, stop. Don't do
Yeah,
this
I
anymore.
hate
Please
routine
stop.
exercise. I have to go for
And
walks or go hiking or like move
but
boxes or
yeah,
move my
if you have
furniture
somebody with
around.
you, like a coach or somebody that can like push you, then you're like, it feels cool because you're like, whoa, I just like pushed myself way farther than I thought I ever could. And I did it. And
Right.
it like, you feel like this accomplishment feeling. I don't know, Blaze, do you experience that?
so I guess yes. For me, it's been a little bit different because, like, growing up, I was always super active because I did soccer for up until high school. And then in high school, I dropped it only because driver's ed and soccer happened to be at the exact same time. But I was also doing marching band at the time, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it did keep me just enough in shape that I felt good. And then in college, I was in the mountains. So I, you always hear the saying of you've walked uphill both ways or whatever. That saying, that stupid saying, but that is so true in the mountains. Like the campus was like on a hill. You never were flat. So you literally were walking uphill two different ways. So I was super fit then until I moved into an apartment off of campus. And so now I'm trying to work really hard to get back to where I was. And it's hard, especially
Yeah.
now that I have a full time job and it's like a
Uh,
content creator as well. There's just not enough hours in the
Yeah.
day for
I
I
think
wake up at
everything.
that's the
4:45.
problem.
4:45 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
I do think that's the problem though, like because like for me, I mean not right now because I've just finished for summer, but like I work, I have uni, and like I have to fit in like exercise, and
Yeah.
that's why to me, like in my head, it feels like this huge thing. But then, like my Finch is always like exercise for 3 minutes, and I found this dance workout to Espresso because that song is in my head like 24/7, and it's like 3 minutes, and I'm like, okay, so I just have to like follow this like dance workout, and I've done it, and it's 3 minutes. Why does this seem like such a big thing in my head? Like it's not. It's just dancing for 3 minutes.
I had to do that exact same thing, literally. Like, it felt like I was like, I don't have time to exercise. Like, there's no way. Like, I do not have time. And I had to literally like start like with what you're doing and like show myself like, how fast do you scroll TikTok for 30 minutes?
Mm.
Like, you
Yeah.
have time to exercise. So I had to just break it down because it wasn't, that was not a truth. Like, my brain was not speaking a truth to me when it said I don't have time to exercise, because like you do have time. You're just not prioritizing it. It's not a priority. But I
Or you're
think
not
So
what you
managing
do
your
is a,
time well.
yeah, but doing it like, okay, I'm going to start with 3 minutes is like such a good way to like break down that wall, because like you realize like, oh, yeah, I even have 30 minutes. Like, and then at some point you might be like, I could even do 45. Like, it just kind of, it compounds.
Mm.
this kind of goes along with what you're talking about, but thankfully the app that I use, it's like it gives you how much time it's going to take, and I know it's never going to take more than that time because it's literally timed. So that makes it easier for me. And I try to just do 3 times a week because even like 3 times a week, there are so many health benefits to it. It's actually kind of crazy how much your health is improved by like a very small amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mom pays this like fancy health coach woman, and she says you only need 3 15-minute workouts per week, like where you're really getting your heart rate up, like doing something hard. But yeah, that's what she says, 3 15-minute workouts per week, and like that for your health.
They say you should like get up every like is it half hour or hour if you sit down in your job because like apparently sitting is like really really bad for your health.
Yeah, the do you remember
I
the
believe it.
ergonomist that came on that I talked to?
Yeah.
He was a ergonomist from Cornell, and he said the perfect like ratio is sit for 20 minutes, stand for 8 minutes, stretch for 2 minutes. And so then you would do that on a 30-minute cycle. But that's like pretty intense, and I don't know how many people have standing desks at work that you can like
Yeah,
rotate,
not
but I
like
think
none at
if
mine.
my Apple Watch and my Aura Ring both will tell me to get up if I haven't moved in 50 minutes. They'll tell me like, okay, it's time to stand now. So that's what I do. And I have my Apple Watch on a 12-hour stand goal, which means at least 12 hours of the day I stood up for a minute is all it is. I don't know if
I
it's helped
I like
anything.
that.
Like I haven't noticed anything, but apparently it's good for my baseline or something.
I try to at least get up and walk like around the house once after
That's good
I've
too.
been sitting for at least 2 hours. Like I'll just block the 5 minutes out on my calendar even if I have to get up and go pee. I try to get up at least. Yeah. I big long time blocks, I stop them in the middle. I'm like, "I'm gonna go take a break. I'll be back in 30 minutes."
I think like a big life hack, making sure that you stand up a lot, is to have a pet because my cat like
Yes.
will not let me sit down for a whole hour without meowing at me for biscuits and making me get up and feed her.
Butters goes on rotations. Right now, this is her rotation right here, this blanket behind me. So instead of sitting on my lap, she sits here for like 12 hours a day.
That's so funny. Yeah, getting a pet will definitely help you
And I make
get
sure
up
her
more.
biscuits are like in that like cupboard behind me, so I have to walk over and get like I can't just open my drawer where my snacks are and her snacks are there too because that would be not well, it would be really handy for me, but it wouldn't be helping me get up. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Um so we talked a lot about exercise. How do you guys improve your sleep? Does anybody have like systems? I can
I
share if nobody does.
I have a pretty strict schedule. I have like bedtime routine and it's like 30 to 45 minutes planned to like shower if I need to, brush my teeth if I need to, have whatever snacks I want to before I need to get into bed. But I am in my bed ready to go to sleep, even if I'm not going to sleep, but in my bed by 9. And then
How
usually
many
I fall asleep pretty quick.
how many hours a night do you guys sleep?
about
Six and a half.
8.5.
Mine is usually 8.5 to 9.
It
According to my
depends
Fitbit,
because
6 hours 15 minutes, but I don't believe it because I'm in bed. So how
Like
yeah, I
I
mean, I'd
was
probably sleep for longer if my like body didn't wake me up at 6:30 at the moment for like no good reasons.
yeah.
So like, mhm.
I was talking to my mom and my aunt last weekend, and we were talking about how many hours a night, like, or they were talking about this, but they were talking about how many hours a night they need to get of sleep.
It's
So,
more for women than men, isn't it? Like it's a couple of hours more.
supposedly,
All I will say is my Aura Ring, like I regularly last night I slept like crap. It took me like an hour to fall asleep and I got 7 hours and 44 minutes. That's like such a low night for me. And I used to like think like, oh, I sleep too much, and my Aura Ring literally will tell me like, you are the best at sleeping, like keep it up, you sleep better than like 95% of people. It's like it gives me like a bunch of crowns. And so now that I have that, I'm like, well, cool, like I know that I'm giving my body a great amount of rest, and I don't like feel bad about it. Like that's one thing I love about having like the data and something to tell you like you're doing a good job with whatever it is. I'm like, okay, cool. I can like release myself for putting pressure on myself about that. And it does. It helps me with like so much stuff. And now I know every single trigger that's going to make me not sleep. I know them all, so that I can just
Oh
not do
wow,
them, or I can
that's
choose to do
so
it and know
helpful.
what's going to happen anyways. Um, yeah,
I
I
agree. The data's so helpful.
it is
Um,
nice.
so I read that book, How to ADHD, and in it, and I printed it off and I posted it in chat and we'll post it in Discord. There is a little quiz that you can take to find out your circadian rhythm. It's like $5 to help like support it. But you take the quiz and it basically spits out your morningness, eveningness type
Oh,
and then tells you like based on your answers, your ideal bedtime is this time, your ideal wake up time is this time. This is the time you typically would probably fall asleep naturally.
the Aura Ring has that too. It will tell you after like 2 weeks. It'll say this is your chronotype, and like don't.
Yeah.
And then it like yells at you if you like fall outside of that.
I want one so fucking bad. It doesn't fit my finger.
same. I want one
No,
so
remember we went
bad.
over
Wait.
this. The
No,
sizes are
no.
not real
The sizes
sizes.
are not the same. I went and tried on the
Oh, dang it.
smallest size. It's still too big. They have a new version coming out, and then there's some competitors coming out this year. So I'm just like
Cross your fingers.
waiting.
Like, yeah, I'm a late morning type, so I know that like I'm never like gonna wake up early. It's just not gonna
It's
happen.
interesting. I always would say to myself, I'm not a morning person. Like I don't wake up early. I'm like go to bed late and I wake up like maybe 15 minutes before I have to leave or like whatever, like half an hour before I have to leave. And then like I decided I wanted to get up early to get some work done before like some studying done before work. And then I like really liked it and like it took me a while, but now I'm like waking up a lot earlier before work and I get changed, I get ready for work, and then I'm just like, okay, I have like 20 minutes to myself.
Isn't
I
it
can
great?
play some games or I can do some studying or I can exercise or which will be in the future. And it's just so nice. Like I can't believe I like changed from being someone who like doesn't wake up that early in the morning to like an early morning person. I guess like I maybe already had it in me. I just was like lazy. But yeah.
I
Isn't it
find that
nice?
my schedule changes depending on like if I'm working from home versus when I work in the office. My wake up time and just like what I need in the morning is very different because
But
I'm
you're
the type of person when I have to go into the office, I need at least 30 minutes to myself before I'm even at work or doing anything. So I have to wake up earlier. But working from home, I literally wake up at 8 and then I work out for like 30 minutes and then by 9 I usually have a meeting and that's when I like actually start working.
Wouldn't you say though that like the at home version of you is probably more true to yourself? Because like that's how you are like without having a rigid schedule. Because if you were like an earlier person, you might be waking up at like 7, even though you don't, you know.
Well, yeah, when I I would say that my at home routine is definitely more true to myself, but also even when I had to drive an hour to work, I still fell into like a same pattern of
Of
like
just
what I
earlier.
need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just shifted. I had
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
learn something that was
Same.
so hard for me for sleep was like I had to unlearn that staying up late was fun, which was so hard because literally there's just something that felt so fun about staying up late, and like we
Yeah.
we had to just be like, no, it's not any more fun, and I'm old and I'm gonna regret it tomorrow, so I'm going up to be in bed like we my window is I allow myself 1 hour on the weekends, so if I'm normally in bed by like 10:30, on the weekends I go to bed at 11:30, and that's
Wait,
it.
really? You
That's
don't
Mm.
just blow your sleep schedule every weekend?
no, because you know how much that mess I see the data. It ruins me for like 4 days. I have to catch
Really?
back up, so I'm like not
Oh
worth it.
man.
I
It's
think
not
as
See,
worth
like,
it.
well, like in the evenings, you're like when it's late, you're like everyone's asleep, no one can get to me. Like this is like my
yeah.
time. But then I found in the mornings,
Same
like
thing.
it's the same thing.
Yes, the
No one
same
gets.
thing.
My mom doesn't wake up early. My granny's like straight downstairs, so I'm like it's just me. And then half the time the cats are asleep as well. So I'm just like I have my alone time still, and I feel better for it.
See, I'm really jealous because I started waking up really fucking early so that I could have that time. I'm like, yeah, Steph, there is a full hour for you to work out. There is a full hour for you to 45 minutes for you to get ready. There's cushion in between so you're not rushing getting to your desk and you can still make it to your desk by 7 and you have time. Like if you wanted to read for an hour, go nuts, kid. And like morning pages, factor in for an hour for that. But I have East Coast clients. People are messaging me at like 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes because they get to work at 8 like normal people.
Yeah.
I do wonder if your chronotype shifts because I was surprised. Like I would say I'm a night person. I am way more productive at night. I'm more happy to work on things at night. I have more motivation. I feel like my brain works better. But because of the way I answered this quiz, because I have to be awake during the day and like working and have half a brain at least like firing some kind of something in there. I wonder if it like shifts.
I
I
I would
Do
feel
you
like
think,
it
like, if
does,
you
but
had the opportunity, truly had the opportunity to pick your own schedule, that your
I
chronotype
think
would be
you would
different?
have something that would be the same. If like you were in charge, no external factors, like you just get to choose your sleep wake and you're doing what feels best. I feel like you would stick to something pretty similar for the most part.
I know. I think I'd be complete opposite. I had a period of my life where I would just, like, sleep for, like, 6 hours in the middle of the day and just be up all night. I fucking loved it. To Dana's point,
that's Reagan.
everyone's asleep. It's great.
We did used to have some weird. Did you know that we didn't start sleeping like 8 hours a night until like the industrial revolution era?
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
were weird with sleep. People used to literally go to bed, sleep in two chunks. So you would
Yeah.
go to bed and then they would wake up at like 2 in the morning or like midnight and be awake for like 2 to 3 hours and then have a second sleep chunk.
Huh.
I learned about that in the book Do Nothing.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I feel like if you're somebody that's like the 8 hour doesn't work for me and like maybe there's something else that might work better for you. Like everybody's so different, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
That's why I love
I
the data because it tells you like for you, this is what works for you. Like go do
Yeah.
this.
I would love to see the data. Like, I think I am good on like 6.5 hours of
You
sleep.
might
That I
be.
think that's like my optimal. If I get too
Just
much
keep
sleep, it just is bad
Oh,
for
I'm
me.
exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you might be
I'd be so curious.
I think it
there.
depends on the circumstances as well because like when like a couple of years ago I would be going to bed at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and then waking up at like 7:30 and like going to work and like somehow I survived on it. But I was like so on edge and my like nervous system was like crazy because I was dealing with a lot of like stress at the time. And like now I'm so much happier. Like I go to bed at 10, I put my like sleep meditation on and I have like healing like sleep vibes or frequencies
Yes.
or whatever I want at the time. Like I love sleep meditation so much. I can't sleep in silence anymore. And I like go to sleep and I get comfortable and then my cat comes in and then she gets comfortable and then we go to sleep together and at some point she leaves me because she's rude. And then yeah, and then I wake up in the morning and sometimes I wake up in the middle
That
of the night,
sounds
but then
so
I just put
nice.
another sleep meditation on and I have blackout blinds, so there's no light in my room whatsoever. And then I put my little like sunrise alarm clock on so I get woken up by the lights as well. So
That sounds really, really nice. I'm
Okay.
not
it's
gonna lie.
nice.
All of
We need
that
to
sounds so
get
heavenly.
a really cool picture of a bedroom, Dana, and then I'm gonna grab you and be like, okay, blinds, bed sheets, pillows, ambiance. We're gonna make a little graph.
I can't wait till I eventually have my own house and then my bedroom will be completely separate from my like working area because that is the one thing that I think I struggle with in my room is switching off and getting
Smart.
to that point
Yeah.
where I'm not. Like my room is such a working room because I'm in when I'm home and I'm in my room, I'm here, I'm doing things, I'm trying to get stuff done, and then that's the biggest problem I have is trying to just switch off and be like, right, okay, come on, it's time to sleep. Whereas I feel like I'd be able to an hour before bed, like go into my room and then I'd be like, okay, I can read or I can do this, but that's it in this room.
IKEA
Working
makes
and like,
really cheap curtain partitions that you can hang on a little track from your
oh
ceiling.
yeah.
There, so you like hang a
I
little
don't think I
tiny
can reach
track
my
and
ceiling.
then you have little curtains or just an idea if you because that way it's like rather than like a room separator, it's like you can put it away really easily.
Do you know how
I
high
love
my
that.
ceilings are?
No, I don't, clearly.
They're like they're huge because it's an old Victorian house. Like I don't know if you can even see like how
Okay,
high.
they're
Pigeon
like 10
holes.
footers. But still,
Yeah,
I'm sure you could maybe get a step ladder or something if you really wanted to.
yeah. I mean,
That's
it's a nice
hilarious.
idea, but I do think it will have to wait until I've messed up my camera now. There we go. Until I have my own space and I can separate because I'm sitting here and I'll be like, oh yeah, and then I'll be like, oh, it's like 9:45. I should go to bed now.
I feel
Yeah.
that though. I get sick. Like I love my room. This is my happy place, but I get truly sick of sitting in here. I'm tired of it. Like I've been, 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm just like I'm done. I'm done being in this room. I don't come in here sometimes on the weekends. I'll go hang out on the couch or outside, but it's too hot now. Or in bed. I go hang out in bed now.
That's why I have my no PC evenings now. So I sit on my sofa and I just watch the like telly. I like watch a film and then I can like draw or I can just like chill. But I'm not at my desk and don't have this bloody computer on and I'm not looking at my emails every now and again. And oh,
I want to do a no tech night. I've been thinking about that
mm,
ever since I heard you talk about no PC nights. It's like I want to do a no tech night.
Do you know
we
what's
should.
really fun sometimes? Just put your phone in a different room. After like 30 minutes, you'll completely forget that it exists until you go to look for it and every now and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's in the other room." Like you'll like
I've made
move
it
the
so hard.
blankets.
I've
And
made it
putting it
really,
in the
really
other
hard for
room,
myself.
like just like throw it on the bed and like don't even think about it and like walk away and like you'll at least get like a couple hours out of that of not
I
having
feel like
it.
I would need a fidget though because I so often
Oh,
I'm
you
like I
need a
pick up my
fidget.
phone like all the
Yes.
time just to do something with my hands.
You
I
need
eat
I
my
have
phone.
so many fidgets by my couch, like, literally, that's, like, I have otherwise, I'll be on my phone when we watch a show, and then Trey will get mad because he'll be like, "You're not paying attention," and I'm like, "Okay." So then I just have to
Yeah,
have, like, 50 things to do with my hands.
I eat
But
my
then,
phone
like,
on
I feel like
Saturdays.
I am paying attention. Like, I could probably tell you what's happening.
Oh, see,
Like,
I'm not.
oh,
See, no, Rona and I get in the same fights, and now we've just compromised that just both of us need to have something alternate to do. Because he's like, "Well, it's not fair. If you're doing Punch Needle and I wanna play a game, how are you paying any more attention than I am?" I'm like, "It is completely different
Yeah.
doing a craft versus being on your phone."
But, yeah, I totally get that. There are shows we watch that, like, we don't nobody has anything out, like, we're but then
Yeah.
sometimes if it's, like, a
Few
rerun or
far in between,
something.
though. Those are,
Yeah.
like, productions, like
House of the
Game of
Dragon
Thrones. Yes,
season
House of the
2
Dragon.
is coming soon.
I can't wait.
I
I'm so
told him we need to
excited.
rewatch it, and he's like, "No, we've
We
seen it,
just
like,
did.
twice." And I was like,
No.
"No, we're gonna rewatch it, and we're
Yeah,
probably
you
gonna
have to
rewatch it again before
rewatch
it comes
it
out."
because you will notice so many things.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
okay, I could
I've
talk
already
about
seen
that
it 3
forever.
times at least.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation after about it because there were so many things watching it the second time that I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy."
And I listened to the audiobook in between. I listened to Fire and Blood, and
Huh.
I you know, we do need to have a conversation about this because I've
Mhm.
been looking for audiobooks, and it's very interesting the different types that I have been encountering out in the world. Um, so we talked about sleep,
mm-hmm.
hydration.
Yes,
How are you guys
hydration.
staying hydrated? And Dana, especially, this question's kind of for you, and I don't know if you know, but I keep reading that we as Americans, this is not like a normal fucking thing people do in the rest of the world. There are like normal glasses of water that exist, and people don't have like emotional support
Yours is
water
even
bottles and
on the
giant
smaller
tumblers.
side
I
for
refuse to
the
get a tumbler. I'm not
US.
getting a fucking cup with a handle. I can't do
No,
it.
no, no,
It is
you
that
have to
is
get one
ridiculous.
without a handle. That's what I did. But it's still
I
40 ounces.
It's great. I mean, yeah, this is a
Yours is
lot of water.
32.
I don't
Yeah.
do ice though, as well, so it is literally
Mm.
all water. But, like,
Yeah,
what
do
is the
people walk around with
hydration?
those as much, Dana? Because literally everywhere you go here, people have a
Yeah.
giant water bottle.
I
But
take
that's
this
like a
with me
20 ounce, right?
everywhere. I take
That's
this
like,
everywhere with
yeah.
me. It's in my bag. I take it to work. It's by my bed. It's by my computer. Like, if I'm going somewhere, my water bottle is going with me. I
How much
also have
water
this
do you
other
drink?
one, which is like a liter. I prefer drinking out of this one when I'm at my desk. I find I drink more water with this one, and I know that I'm getting like a whole liter at least a day. I found I drink more water there, but I also have variations because I've also got like a couple of drinks on the go today.
You gotta have lots of
I have to
drinks.
Google what a liter is in American.
in
Sorry.
American. Yeah, would you say you drink a liter a day, Dana? Do you drink more than one of your water bottles, your tall one?
Um, yeah, I would say I drink at least a liter. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to drink more than a liter a day.
Mira.
Okay. So it's like a
Just
quarter
try
of a
and get the
gallon.
treats.
She said, "How
Oh,
much do I drink? Do you want to know how much I drink?"
Yes.
That's so
Mira's
funny.
trying to get the treats. Look at her. She said treats.
I gotta give her one now.
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
Hey guys, by the way, for those with dogs, BarkBox has like these cookie treats and they smell like vanilla raspberry cookies.
oh,
And the bag,
Mm.
if you didn't look at it really closely,
You would
you would
eat
not
them?
know it was for dogs.
Yeah.
And I folded them and put them on Verona's desk and had to get it. I'm like, hey, do not eat these. These are for Izzo.
Um,
Just in case.
I probably drink around like 40 to 80 ounces a day. Maybe like 60 to 80 ounces,
I don't know what
60
that
to 80
is. Hang on.
which
ounces.
is, I know, how many.
I'm Googling. That's a half a gallon is 70 ounces. It's
Okay,
a half a
so
gallon.
That's
And
a
a liter
lot.
is a quarter of a
It's
gallon.
like
a liter is
1.7
33
liters.
ounces. So I'm probably drinking
How do
one
I know what
to
this is?
2.5 liters a day.
So 80 is pretty much it's like 2.2
Yeah.
liters. 80 is, and then 60 is 1.7.
But to
Okay,
be
so this is like
fair,
30
I
ounce,
that's
32
a
ounce?
32. Yeah. To be fair, I also live somewhere where it's very hot and very dry. And the funniest thing is, I think I didn't used to drink like have a water bottle until like I don't know, like a few years ago, like 4 years ago maybe. And I like just didn't drink water that much. And now if I don't have my
That's
water
me.
bottle and I'm like out, I like panic. Like I'm
Mm.
like I like need water. Like I can't go somewhere without a water bottle. It feels so weird.
I
Are
would
you
say,
sure
like,
it's
I
only
don't think
80?
it's super normal in the UK to take a water bottle with you everywhere. Like, taking a water bottle to work, I think that's normal. Like, that's something we all kind of do. But like me, where I like obsessively take a water bottle with me everywhere I go. Basically, when I was a bit younger, like I used to always drink like fizzy drinks all the time. I barely drank any water. So I like forced myself for a whole year to not drink anything like any fizzy drinks whatsoever. And that's when I started taking a water bottle with me everywhere because I was like, well, I've got water at the very least if they don't have like anything nice that isn't just like water from the tap.
Yeah.
Um and stuff. So then I started taking my water bottle with me everywhere, and now I drink so much water, like plain water as well. Like there's some people that just don't drink any plain water. Like they're like I can only have
Which
flavored water, which is very
still
bizarre to
hydrates
me.
you.
It's just bizarre to me because I would just think it's so much easier to just go to a tap and just be like done. I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy.
No.
But I'm
It
just like,
definitely still hydrates you for sure. Like if you're somebody that only drinks like soda and tea and coffee and like you're obviously going to be fine. My grandpa literally told us he didn't drink water for 10 years. Like
All
oh,
not
I
a
drink
sip
is
of
water.
water
I
for
don't
10
really like
years.
other drinks. Like tea
Oh my
for sure.
god.
I'm
I'm a
sorry to
drink
backtrack, but
connoisseur.
like you kind of blew my brain. Is it really only 80 ounces a day, Braylon? Are you sure?
Me?
Yeah.
That you need?
No, that you drink.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I drink 4 of these a day at least.
That you might be drinking too much.
But I'm always thirsty.
Yeah, you can get
Do
your
a lot of
system out of
talking.
balance, you know?
Okay.
Also,
I'm
but
like,
gonna
are
go
you
talk to my
drinking
doctor.
electrolytes? Put some salt
Steph
in there.
needs to talk to
I was
her
gonna say,
doctor.
isn't there like water where if you drink it, it's not actually giving like hydrating
Well,
you? Like
Yes,
I
if you
saw this
Yes.
like thing
reverse
of like how much is
osmosis.
actually good
yeah.
for you in
So
each
I mean, I get
water.
it out of my fridge that has a filter, but I did ask my doctor about that because like you
Yeah, that
start
one's
getting served
fine.
ads for random shit and you're like, why am I getting served this ad? But I've been getting a lot of ads for like magnesium supplements in the
Yeah.
water.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's how I got on the rabbit hole. And it's like, well, carrying a giant water bottle everywhere is not normal for the rest of like the world. Like Americans have an electrolyte problem. Like there's nothing in the water. That's why you drink so much of it. You need
Yeah.
minerals in your water. And I talked to Verona and he's like, that's a bunch of hoopla. I talked to my doctor. I didn't get a straight answer. I'm just going to go
You're
message my doctor again.
so I
She's like,
drink
yeah, maybe you could have some minerals. Sure. Sure.
I usually fill my 40-ounce bottle up twice a day, and one of those times I put an electrolyte packet in there. because I find, yeah, if I the water that we have at work is reverse osmosis, which literally has nothing in it. Like, yes, it tastes so glorious and so wonderful and so good, but it will just run right through you and make you pee a ton because it doesn't
Yeah.
have anything in it. The
See?
other thing you can do is just put a little bit of Celtic salt in your water, just like a small amount. Or like you can buy remineralizing drops, which then
Yeah,
you
the
just put
mineral
some of those in
drops.
your water. But yeah, if your fridge water honestly probably is fine. It's just if you're doing like reverse osmosis or like super filtered, it has nothing in
Yeah.
it. So it will
I
just
don't
run
know.
right through you. Like, do you
I
pee a lot? Because if you're peeing a ton, that's probably a sign that your water doesn't have enough electrolytes in it.
all the freaking time. Vrona's been doing, like, liquid hydrations, and I
The
just
liquid
hate the way they
IV,
taste. Oh, yeah, the liquid
yeah, those are
IVs. I
so
just
good.
trying to get things that don't taste like anything because I
Oh,
don't
try Buoy. Bouy. They have no flavor. I see them all over TikTok, and the guy like says they're great for people who have chronic illness and anyone that needs to be hydrated, and they have no flavoring. Same with the remineralizing drops. You can get those at like
buoy.
Sprouts. They don't have any flavor either. Like maybe a
No, but
slight saltiness, like a
I
little
started
tiny
Googling
bit.
those, and it just seems like just a fucking scam. It's really hard to know if I'm just, like, buying into marketing because I work in marketing. I
Yeah,
see
that's
right
true.
through
So
a
you're
lot of it.
questioning everything. I don't know. The ones
Everything.
I got at Sprouts were not marketed. They were not. It was just like some little old, like, just sitting on a shelf, remineralizing drops.
It's just frustrating because, like, I asked my doctor about it, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, you could probably add some minerals, probably wouldn't hurt. Like, liquid IV sounds great." Like, just very dismissive. She's like, "Well, let's do blood work." Nothing came up in the blood work. My cholesterol's a little bit high, so I need to stop eating as
So
I
is
just inhaled an
mine.
entire bacon. I like my jerkies, leave me alone. I No, I have a very sodium heavy diet, so that's probably also why I am always thirsty and I get baked on the regular. Also why I'm probably thirsty.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you need more potassium if you already take a ton of sodium. But sodium usually makes you hold water if you have too much. If you're peeing a lot, your sodium's probably fine.
Definitely a little bloaty girl. Anyway.
But yeah,
I
I love my water bottle. Sorry.
I
So
was just gonna say I don't drink enough water, and I am unlike all of you because I don't drink water.
Oh,
I
I can.
will say though, I do electrolytes on the days that I do run.
Do you feel
So
good when you drink
yeah,
them?
yeah.
I have like a system for anybody who's listening. If you're like, I don't drink water and I want to drink more water, my system is to first get a bottle that you really like because that will help,
Tried
or
that.
a cup that you like. And you have to like set an alarm or get in the habit of filling it first thing in the morning and putting it where you sit. And if you don't fill it first thing in the morning, when you first remember, go fill it up. But literally, if my water bottle is at work and it's like slightly behind my computer, I won't drink it. It has to be within like my direct line of sight,
Mm.
or else I just forget it exists. Like if I put it on the floor when I'm working, I'll go like 4 hours. I won't take a sip of water. I have to be able to see it.
I'm like that with any other drink. If it's not water, like I don't drink it. Even if I have water on my desk, if I have another drink that is not water, I don't drink it. It's weird.
I'm a drink goblin, gremlin, a drink gremlin.
Both. All of the above. Goblin gremlin. So I feel like that is a good segue. Hydration is a huge part of diet. I have very little advice on diet because I don't know how to I have no idea with another person in my house. Like I don't know. I try to make better snacking decisions for myself and try to get my husband to not fill the house with chips and cookies,
Ugh.
and I made him get a drawer by his desk if he's going to fucking buy Oreos, keep that shit out of the pantry. We found the hack, guys. He puts them in the freezer. I never eat them. I never think to look in the freezer for Oreos. It's great. Just hide them from me.
I grew up not like with an almond mom, but my mom was overweight when I was growing up, and then she lost a bunch of weight through like Weight Watchers and like Atkins. And so I grew up like I started calorie counting when I was like 14. like religiously. So, and I didn't stop that until like 5 years ago. And it's taken me a long time to like unlearn all of the really terrible eating habits. Also, being on stimulants my whole life, like I just was always really thin and never ate enough ever. So I feel like when I got off ADHD meds, I had to like learn how to re-eat, which was really hard. But now I focus on addition instead of subtraction. So like if I'm gonna have a burger, I will also like make sure that I have some berries with it to get like good fiber, and like throw some avocado on there to get good fats. Like I kind of like add to my meals. Like we eat berries with dinner every single night because they're like huge in fiber, and it's like really just like a helpful. So that's like my shtick is like I try to add things, and then I also just try to focus on getting a lot of protein, because protein, when you have ADHD, makes your brain work so much better. It's crazy. If you start the day with like a high protein breakfast, I notice an immediate effect on my brain, like when I do that versus when I don't.
It kind
I
of
noticed
reminds
Rona does
me.
that.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
I said it kind of reminds me of the like snack and glow plates where you like make sure you have like a protein, you have
Mm-hmm.
um like a fruit or something, and then you have your like treat like little like thing, like if it's a chocolate bar or whatever, and like you have like you add to it, like if you want like chocolate, like great, but what are you gonna have with that chocolate that fills
Mm-hmm.
you up? I also like agree with you, Brandon. I can't calorie count because if I do, and I know 100% the calories that I'm eating, I end up like not eating, or
Same.
like the next
I
day
can't
I'll
do
like
it.
end up starving myself.
Yeah.
So it's not healthy. Like I know because I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. I've just got all my weight is on my stomach, and it's really uncomfortable. I just want to be comfortable in my clothing and my skin. But like all of them are like, you should be in a calorie deficit, and I'm like, I can't do
No,
that. I really can't do that. So
we're
I'm
not
just
gonna
trying to
go
make
there.
more like healthy choices, like instead of
Mhm.
like I really liked having Doritos and like a garlic and onion dip. Now I have like lentil crisps and hummus, and I still
Yeah.
really enjoy it. It's really nice because they're good like lentil chips. They have like a good I think the barbecue flavor. They're like really nice. So it's not
Mm.
like I'm like making myself eat like a subpar like version. It's like still a really nice like version of it. It's just healthier. So yeah, I think you're right. You need to like add or like swap things like
Yeah.
I
Don't
love
subtract if you're gonna eat
not.
it. Just, and then I can share this girl, her TikTok account. She's a ADHD nutritionist, and her whole thing is addition, not subtraction. Um, and she shares, like, she's the one who, we eat a lot of burgers, and she was like, okay, if you're going to eat a burger, like, eat sweet potato fries with it, throw in some berries and some avocado, and then you have like a super like complex carb, protein, fat, like balanced meal. And that, just like those switches, has been really helpful. I do follow this girl, I sent it to Blaze, who does like fast food meals that are calorie deficit, but they're just like under 500 calories. But why I like them is because they all have 30 grams or more of protein, which
Mm.
is like crazy cool. And I eat a ton of fast food. So I like that. It's like, okay, I know I'm going to eat fast food, but look, I'm still going to get a ton of protein, and I'm not going to eat like a 1,500 calorie meal.
Yeah.
And, like
Uh,
blast away my whole day.
there's
Sometimes I might do that if it's fun, but not all as often as I eat fast food.
we
there's a
we have to like
TikToker as
reason with
well.
ourselves.
Yeah.
There's a TikToker, and she always starts off with fuck a salad, like
Oh, yes, I love
Oh,
her.
her.
Marianne.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
love her.
She's
And
Yeah.
she's
great.
always got those like adult lunchables, and or like she's got that what they call it, cowboy something salad. And they always just look so nice, and it's like just normal, like she's that, yeah, it's a salad like thing, but it's
Cowboy
essentially a
caviar.
dip.
Yeah.
It's just a dip, and she's just eating chips with it, or like she'll have a lunchable, like adult lunchable thing, and it's like healthy food and like good for you food, but it still looks nice. Like it's
Hmm.
not just like a boring like, here, have some lettuce and cry on your lunch break.
That was
Okay,
I
something. Oh,
I
go
need to
ahead.
find the resource for you guys because I need to go look up fuck a salad. Is it fuck a salad make a snack box? Is that like the thing that you
That's
guys
the
are talking about?
girl.
Yeah,
Yeah. She
Okay.
goes,
yeah.
No, because fuck a salad. That's like what she'll say.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are some fucking amazing salads. Like Rona and I went on like the 6-month journey and we made like the most fun, decadent salads, and
There's
they're
a
really
way to
fucking
make a
easy to
salad,
make.
for
And you
sure.
can even do like a make ahead and then you just put the dressing on the side so it doesn't get super soggy. Like those are fucking amazing. We made some goddamn good salads. It's the dressing.
Do
That's
you know
where we
what
fuck
though?
ourselves.
Oh, yes. Do you
But the
know what's
thing is, it doesn't
crazy?
matter how much dressing you put on because you're still getting the nutritional value of the food that's in it.
Yes,
See,
putting
like,
cheddar on your broccoli does not take away from the nutritional value of the
no,
broccoli.
absolutely. See, I lean into salads only because I also like Verona gets to have meat with it, and like I can eat more of a salad and still be in not right. Like I'm not like gorging myself on a 2,000 calorie meal
Like
if I have a
volume
big ass bowl of
eating.
Oh,
You're
salad.
eating
the
like more things with like less calories so you can eat more of it.
the
Salad and
nutritionist
goes a
says
hack.
that like some foods have a stopping point. Like you will, if you gave somebody like a 3 pound bag of carrots and said eat the whole thing, they would be like, I can't, even if I wanted to. Like
Yeah.
you'd get to a point. But if you were like, here's a dozen donuts, can I eat the whole thing? Yeah, you could, because it's like some food has a stopping point. Do you know what though? From my calorie counting days, like I used to always be like, okay, I want salads and I want vegetables and give me the vegetarian option and I don't want any cheese. And now I'm like literally completely the other way because I focus on protein. I'm like, I'm only eating that salad if I can get meat on it. I'm gonna make sure that I have some type of protein with every meal because it like when I eat heavy protein, like I just feel so I have so much energy. Like everything feels like it works better. But I had to like
Burning it off,
unlearn
right?
this of like I had to unlearn this like I will go for the salad with the no
Well,
meat.
not like
And instead I'm
burning it
like,
off, but like your body turns protein into energy, right? Like that's
no,
how
your
you get
protein's
the
for your
energy.
muscles. Carbs are your energy.
Carbs are the energy. See,
Yeah.
I need to go do I haven't touched that yet. It's very overwhelming for me.
But carbs are very good for you. Your body needs carbs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've been looking at I've been using an app called Noom, and it like
Oh yeah.
teaches you
Some
like
people say that that's like abusive. Have you heard that? If you look
The
up the
Noom
reviews
app?
on it, that people are
yeah.
like, they gave me an eating disorder.
Oh, for me,
It's
I
with
really
everything
like
though.
the fact that it like tries to change your mindset about food. It's like
Yeah,
they tell you like these foods aren't bad. Like they're trying to like help you. They're like, hey, what do you get stressed about? Like, what's stopping you from doing this? Like,
I
I
like
really
that.
enjoy
That
doing
sounds
it.
helpful.
But they are like when you look at their like red foods and like orange foods and green foods, which they don't tell you to stop eating any of those foods. It's just like less of the like orange and things. It is very much about like the volume, like not like water weight, but like they say like have grapes over raisins because they'll fill you up more and stuff like that. But like for me, if I eat dried fruit, that's the only fruit I'm probably gonna eat because I don't like the texture and how different each fruit kind of is depending on
That
when you buy
is,
it or
yeah.
stuff.
Fruit is difficult for a lot of neurodivergent people because it's so like you don't know what you're gonna be biting
Yeah.
into.
I get sick
So
of it too.
mm,
Like we find the good fruits and it's like I'm so fucking tired of the berry medley mix, like the
Oh
blueberries,
yeah.
strawberries, raspberries together. I'm tired
Go
of it. I've been eating
seasonal.
it for like 2 years.
I find that helps a lot if you your fruit seasonally because then like it's constantly kind of changing. And then you're getting the best of like what's good right now.
I
also,
gotta
I saw a
I gotta figure out a
post.
plan.
It said like you should eat fruit seasonally and vegetables seasonally because they're like the world
They're
or
at their
like
prime.
nature knows what you need in those
Yeah,
times.
that too.
Like
When it's winter, it's like, okay, here's the things that nature has provided for us because maybe like that's why citrus is in the winter. We're not getting
yeah.
as much sun, so we're gonna get like our vitamin C.
I just need to like sit down. I keep seeing the ads you can get a nutritionist with your insurance and
I see those
I need
too.
to go look at that. I have been talking about getting a nutritionist for years. I just like want someone to sit down and like let's run our blood, let's run whatever your white blood cell count or whatever. Tell me the fucking diet I need so I can get some kind of schedule, figure out what crosses over with Rona cuz that's where I it just hit a wall cuz we're feeding two people. So either I do everything or he does everything and neither one of us want to do everything. So I got to figure out a way we can do it together, but I don't know. I don't know
Just
how to do
There's
that.
make your husband quit his job and then he'll cook full time for you like mine does.
I need his insurance. That's if it wasn't for his insurance, I would have hired him like a month ago at least.
there's there are some creators where they show you like this person is in a calorie deficit or like wants to lose weight, and this person wants to like gain muscle. So and they show differences between the meal. Like they make pretty much the same meal, but there's like
Oh, it's a husband and wife.
yeah,
And she does like, here's my husband's and here's how I altered it for me. And like
yeah.
he's trying to bulk and I'm trying to like
That's
eat in
fair.
calorie deficit.
Ooh, if you find that again, please send that to me because it's not that Rona's trying to bulk or anything, but maybe that would also be added motivation for him.
Yeah, I
Because he's
think
been trying to work out, and since we're on opposite schedules for that too.
maybe even just like seeing how easy it is to alter a meal so you're not exactly making two separate meals might be helpful as well.
That's my problem too, because Trey does cook and he makes very like boy meals, you know. But then we'll find things like, okay, you're making a burger, I'm gonna have it on a wheat bun, I might have a different side, they might eat chips, I might eat fruit. Like I'm gonna find a way to make it a little bit better for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely do that with the sides. I still have my chips, but I don't sit and like I never that okay, another rule really helpful. The bag never comes with me.
No,
You
you
either
fill it
put it in
little
a
cup,
bowl or
like
you
a
don't eat it.
little snack cup.
Yes.
Take it with
So
you.
then I ended up getting like these really cute little like ceramic bowls and then they fit
Oh,
around in like a circle. So it's like it's always very aesthetic. I also traded out all of my plates for smaller like bowl plates. And those are all I use now. So less food goes in it. I'm leaning into the aesthetic. I'm getting pretty shit, so I'm more likely to use it.
I saw somebody got one of those like I don't know if they're like platters or whatever, but it's got like different like sections and it's got a lid, and they prepare their vegetables at the beginning of the week and they put them all in there, and they're like, I'm so much more likely to have like the fruit and vegetables now that they've been prepared than if they just sat in my fridge and weren't prepared.
That's my next phase. We did the thing almost 2 years ago now where we put all our condiments in the bottom drawers so that we could see
Oh
all of the
yeah.
food that we actually had, and then I bought a bunch of, like, plastic bins, and I do when we get the groceries in, take all the vegetables and fruits and shit out of the bags and put them in the bins. And they last a lot longer, and we can see it, and that's nice. That's my next phase, though, is to do the little kits.
I love that.
It's hard, man. Time.
Everything that we talked about today is hard and takes time. But I think something that we all kind of shared was that if you adjust your mindset around those things, they will become a little bit easier.
One at a time.
Yeah.
But
I
they
think
are
that's the
definitely not
problem.
easy.
And also like to slowly implement. Don't suddenly
Yes.
go, I want to change everything and then like do it all in one go, because you
No.
will not stick at it. You won't, because
Yes.
it's such a huge change. You need to slowly implement. Get that nice water bottle, put some fucking stickers on it, and then drink it. If you don't like water, drink
Put
flavored
some stuff in
water.
it.
Yeah, add some like
There's
liquid IV
options.
or whatever you use. Like just slowly implement things, and don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like we are all trying our best, and like it's so easy to just be like, you're not doing enough. You're not drinking water, so everything else you're doing, shit, is you've done nothing. Like
Yeah.
look at yourself. But actually, like if you try, like what do they say, instead of taking the lift, walk up the stairs, or park further away so you have to walk more often, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just slowly do it. Like play your favorite song and have like a whole dance that you enjoy, or like just do this the whole time. That's okay too, you know? Just take it slow. Maybe like don't go out for that, like don't get that like fifth like happy meal in the week, you know? Just like just slowly slim yourself into the person you want to be, or like slim down the habits you don't like. Don't fucking rush it, because you will fail. We all
Yes.
will, you know. It's not how we used to it.
And if you don't know
Yes.
where to start, start with the easiest one. Start with
Yeah.
the one you already have a handle on for the most part and go from there.
Mm-hmm. And don't add the next one until you feel really confident with the first one, which could take
Yeah.
you 6
There's
months.
no timeline.
It could take,
There is
yeah,
no
it could
timeline.
take a long time, and that's okay. Building
And the fact
habits
that
is
you're trying is
time
amazing.
consuming. Yeah, that is true. We're all proud
Can
of
you
you.
imagine when we get it 4 out of 5 or 3 out of the 4? It feels so
I've
good.
had short periods of time where I've had everything in a symbiosis or whatever, and it's nice.
Yeah, and then I have one crazy thing that happens and the whole fucking thing goes off the rails.
Or even like you go on vacation and it's like, well, goodbye. Goodbye all habits and routines.
Or the
No,
clothes
I want to
change.
talk with you
And
after
then
this about the sleep thing and the Friday, Saturday. I'm up until like 3 o'clock in the morning
Oh
if
my
I can
god,
be.
yeah.
If my body
No.
allows me, I am awake. That is, yeah. You
no,
think I did this
sad.
at a reasonable hour of the night? What do we have left? Blood work? I don't have
Guidance.
a lot on blood work, to be honest with you. I got my blood work done and they just told me I'm slightly high on cholesterol and nothing else is wrong. And I was like, oh,
I only
okay.
got blood work done for because I thought I had like IBS or like some kind of like problem, and they're like, no, it's fine, it's just stress, and I was like, ha 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 ha,
Great.
great. So it's
That's
my
awesome.
problem. Ha ha. Just what I wanted.
Gonna need advice for that, doc.
No,
Just
they haven't even
stress.
like called me. It just showed up on the app, and I was like, oh, okay. And no one's talked to me about my results, nothing. So I'm like, am I supposed to do something now? Like, what's the next step? I don't know. So I'm just here. I'm
I
alive.
pay a
That's pretty
different professional for that.
much.
Well, what was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? I remembered it this time.
I don't know. There's like so much stuff that we talked about that I thought. I mean, obviously the fry talk at the beginning was like amazing, mind
We will be
blowing.
continuing that in Discord. I'm kicking that off right now, actually.
I think it was just nice to listen to everybody's like ways that they do things and like learn new things, but also like be like, oh, okay, that person like I don't know, has like an interesting schedule that they use, or like, oh wow, that's kind of cool that they do that. Like, it's just nice to learn things about the way that you guys are meeting your goals and your nutrition or exercise or water or sleep or or either.
I think for me, it was just that there's no one size fits all, and like be okay with adjusting things as you change and as you age and as you grow. It's you might have something that works really well for you for a long time and then it doesn't work anymore. And I think just learning to be okay with those changes.
I got a lot out of this episode. Um so I do habit tracking. Definitely gonna make sure that I have my shades on my habit tracker now. So I can
You've
at least
just
get a
got like a
baseline
whole
every
to
day.
do list from today,
I
haven't you?
did. I did add a couple of things to my parking lot. The body movement menu was like the first like kind of
Yeah.
light bulb thing for me. I do book an hour to work out 3 times a week and it is dependent on me getting my ass up on time. I've lived in Arizona now for like 4 years, but my body is still like on that routine of I feel more active when like springtime hits for the rest of the country, and that's when it's getting really fucking hot here. So I started taking Izzo for walks really early in the morning and like trying to find silver linings in that. Like everyone's asleep the time that I go out, but it's not daylight until at least 6:30. So if I'm waking up at 4:45, what am I going to do right in that it's just I have a lot of personal hurdles that I'm trying really fucking hard to get active though. So I have
You're
like we
doing a
set up
good
the
job.
workout room. It's effort, right? It's all effort. So I do want to do the body movement menu. I am going to add shades to my habit tracker cuz it is really important. I am going to go back down the rabbit hole on mineral cuz like you're right. If I'm drinking that was kind of a light bulb moment for me that Raylan, you only drink like 80 ounces a day,
Which
and
80 is
I'm
a
drinking like
lot.
a full fucking gallon. Like I don't have, there's no ice in this either. I don't like
Yeah.
ice because my teeth are sensitive. I talk a lot. I smoke weed. I like, like there's a lot of things that contribute. No, I'm excited to continue the conversation and the resources and whatnot. I want to know what everybody else is doing for their shades too. That would be cool to have in Discord. I might add that
Mm.
to Discord as well, like a shades check in.
I did like how simple when Braylon was talking about the exercise menu, like the body movement menu, when she's like, you know, just like have a dance or like, it was just nice that in my mind I was like, okay, it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Blaze? Any takeaways?
I would say that my biggest takeaway is that it's okay that I'm dropping the ball on most things
Yeah.
when it comes to shades, and that it's really freaking hard
It's fucking
to do all of
hard.
It
them.
is.
We're not robots, and that's what,
Yeah,
like
no.
dude, that's what gets me is, like, I can be on it for a week and I feel great, and I feel so fucking good, and
Mhm.
then I don't do it the next week, and I'm like, "Well, how do people do that? How?" I don't believe that people go for daily runs. I just don't fucking believe it. Like, it gotta be a non-negotiable, and then how
It
do you also
does.
eat healthy and make sure that you're getting enough water and make sure that you're getting, like, fresh air and getting adequate sleep? Like, how are you doing all of those and going to work and succeeding there and having kids
They
and
don't
having
have a
hobbies and
mental
friends?
illness. I
And we
think.
put so much fucking pressure on ourselves. You know, like half the time you're like shouting at yourself for not doing the thing. So why would you want to do the thing when your brain's like, fuck you, you're not doing this, you're a piece of shit. Like that's not nice. That's
I saw
not a
the
nice
greatest TikTok.
that's
And
Not
it's
not
just like,
nice.
on top of everything we have to do and we have to clean our baseboards, where the fuck do you people find time for that?
Yeah, for
yeah.
real.
Well, it's so I am up ungodly early, Blaze, on the West Coast over here. So if you want a morning workout, buddy, you can come on our morning walks with us. I'd feel a little bit safer if there was somebody on the phone. I do have pepper spray. It's yeah, no, it's buddy up, figure it out.
Exactly.
Talk more about partners too and how that impacts. I feel like there's so much we didn't get to in this episode.
Yeah, this could definitely be split into a lot.
And I was worried we wouldn't have enough to talk about. Hey,
Oh
we're
my
doing all
goodness.
right.
So yeah, burnout is definitely coming in another episode, and for burnout
Meditation.
Definitely.
and another, just like living with other people and then also trying to get your shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's definitely not even spouse, because Dana, I imagine you live with other people. That has to
Yeah.
impede in some way with everything that you're trying to do.
Yes.
Dig, 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 dig. Well, thank you for tuning in. Truly appreciate your time you spent with us today. Went a little bit over. Hop over to our Discord community to deep dive into the topics we covered and connect with like minded individuals. We did start the potato conversation. So you just search potato in the Discord and you will find this. Please contribute. Don't forget to follow us on social media and stay updated on our latest content. Be sure to catch our next episode. Are we talking about death in the next one?
Yeah.
El Spooko? All right, cool. Let's go. Let's get spooky and talk about death.
I'm excited.
Yeah. About death.
Let's go. Hey, Halloween in July? June.
Summer
It
ween.
doesn't matter.
Summerween.
Summerween?
On that note,
Bye.
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 Bye.